Hello and welcome back to 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your producer, Jeremiah Long, and joining me to talk about the NCAA Week 9 coverage of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish versus the Syracuse Orange, it's our host, Mr. Logan Landers. How's it going, man?
What's going on, Jeremiah? Talking some good football here with the ACC of Syracuse, and I guess you could say the ACC of Notre Dame. We don't really know where we put them at, but hey, it's going to be a good matchup on Saturday, right before Halloween, and it's going to be in Syracuse. It's going to be rocking. It's going to be fun to watch, man. Can't wait to talk about this game.
Absolutely. And for everybody watching our live broadcast on YouTube or Facebook, or listening to our podcast on Spotify, Apple, or Google, or anywhere you listen to podcasts, we just want to say thank you. Thank you so much. You are the reason by telling your friends and family and colleagues about our show that we're able to grow even more every single week and bring you all this amazing programming. So thank you so much for watching and listening, and make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you can know every time we post a new episode. Well, Mr. Landers, Notre Dame and Syracuse, what do we have to look forward to this week in college football?
Let's talk about these Fighting Irish first and foremost, Jeremiah. Caught off to a rough start. We all know 0-2 on the year. Everyone thought the world was ending. What's Notre Dame doing? But they've bounced back pretty nicely. Won 4 of their last 5. Lost against Stanford, not this past week, but the week prior by 2 points. But this past week got a big win, 44-21 against the UNLV Rebels right there. So in that victory, Drew Prime, the quarterback, 14-28, 205, 2 TDs, 1 INT. Not the greatest day, but also not the worst. Could always improve on that. The running game, though, very solid work. Logan Diggs, 28 carries for 130 yards, and Chris Tyree behind him with 10 carries for 43. As a squad, they ran the ball 47 times for 223 yards. Got a lot of work done on the ground, 3 scores as well. Main receiver you look out for, Michael Mayer, 6 grabs for 115 and a touchdown, average 19.2 per catch, with Jaden Thomas behind him, 2 grabs for 40, average 20 per during that game. Now, they did have fumbles, had a little bit of butterfingers this past game. Two total fumbles. They lost 1, but they did recover 1. So just got to make sure you wear some gloves or something. It's getting cold. Got to be sure you can hold on to that ball. Defense, like I said, good job. Only give up 21 points. Shut them out in the second quarter. J.D. Bertrand led the way with 7 tackles on the day. They had 4 total sacks, with 3 of those going to the defensive MVP of the ball game. In my opinion, Isaiah Foskey. 3 sacks, you're doing something right. Also, 9 tackles for loss. He led the way there as well. And they had 4 pass defended with 2 INTs from Mr. Chris Tyree. So just a dominant win for the Fighting Irish, one that they desperately needed in order to prep for this game against Syracuse, and also next week, the first week of November against Clemson. So they got 2 tough matchups here back-to-back weeks. Let's see how they can do against Q's. Speaking of Syracuse, they had a tough matchup against Clemson this past week. Suffered their first loss on the year. They're now number 16 in the AP Top 25. Still not bad. Played them very close, a game that could have went either way, but Clemson, after a wild ball game, subbed out their quarterback for a minute, and then it was just a wild game. But overall, Clemson got the win 27-21. In that game, Syracuse quarterback Garrett Schrader, 18-26 passing, 167, 1 touchdown, 1 INT. Like I said, not the greatest day, but also not the worst as well. Running game did pretty decent as well. Probably could have that was probably their one spot where they could have done a little bit more if they wanted to get the win. Sean Tucker was the second leading rusher on the team as the running back. 5 carries, 54 yards. Quarterback Garrett Schrader, a little hard to believe, ran the ball 21 times for 71 yards. You don't really see that much from a quarterback, so led the way in that regard. Wide receiver was Orangi Gatson the second, 6 catches for 86. And the defense, like I said, 27 points on most weeks ain't too bad, but it was a little bit more than they needed. Michael Jones led the way with 12 tackles on the day, 2 sacks, chalked those up to Steve Linton and Kevin Jobiti Jr. 3 pass defended, 2 INTs from Jason Simmons and Jihad Carter. So like I said, not a horrible loss, but still, man, it was a tough loss for them. Just couldn't get a whole lot of offense going as opposed to Clemson, who got 450 total yards compared to Syracuse's 291. And like I said, just the rushing game just Clemson was taking over. They ran the ball for close to 300 yards, so it was tough to stop them there. But like I said, we got a good matchup here. Notre Dame, Syracuse. So my final prediction for this one, man, it's going to be a tough ball game, but I think I'm going to go with Syracuse getting the bounce back win. I've liked what they've done this year. I think they're a really good program. I think that they are kind of shocking a lot of people. And so I'm going to go with the Syracuse Orange getting the W in this one. I'll go the final score, Syracuse 31 and Notre Dame 24. A little bit of a close ball game. I think Syracuse can pull it out at the end, but I think that Notre Dame is going to put up a good fight in the first half. In the second half, I just think the running game mostly of Syracuse is going to take over in this upcoming ball game.
That's what's up. Yeah, let's see if Syracuse locks it in or if Notre Dame can find their way to fight like the Irish and get all up in there. We're super excited to see that. And we want to hear from you, our viewers and listeners. So tell us in the comments over on Facebook and YouTube, what do you think are the keys to win this game? Are you a big Syracuse fan or are you a big Notre Dame fan? Let us know in the comments. And if you're listening to our podcast, first off, thank you. But if you're not listening to our podcast, come and join us. You can listen to our podcast anywhere that you love to listen to it, including over on Spotify, including on Apple Podcast, on Google, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Overcast, and so many other platforms. So wherever you love to listen to streaming radio or what we think of as podcasts today, you can listen to our amazing show. So come and join us, including over 1,000 episodes that have so many evergreen episodes that are history specials and interviews with other players that you can listen to anytime, year-round and year after year. So thank you so much, Mr. Logan Landers, for that NCAA Week 9 coverage of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish versus the Syracuse Orange. I am your producer, Jeremiah Long, and we'll be back with another live episode right after this. Stay tuned.